Hey everyone, it's Cobalt of the Lumaroos. I recently won the premier event with this insane Celestlio deck. I do want to preface this by saying I did get rather lucky. All right, this would be I will admit I would say I played well. I didn't make many misplays. I did plays that I am happy with, and optimize my lines as best I could. But it's also kind of like opening EQ laurels every game. Just the amount of luck I saw. Well, not every game, but like 70% of games. So I did get very fortunate with this. Obviously, a rule with this deck is to mulligan if you don't see a particular card. And I saw it so often. First up, we have 3 Celestlio. This card's value is not so much its big numbers or its removal. It adds extra cards to your hand so that when it gets removed, you still have resources. But the big point of this card is if you stick it quickly and your opponent cannot remove it, you win the game. Your opponent needs to have an answer to this in the first turn, maybe 2. Anything else, it's too slow. So if your opponent doesn't see EQ in their opening hand, this will usually win the game pretty quickly. So that's kind of the whole concept behind this deck, is if I can get this out in the first 3 turns, it will shut down the game in the next 3. Even if your opponent has 0 cards on the field, you still activate the effect of this just to get the extra cards in hand, so that if they do just EQ it next turn, you're still having some sort of value out of it. Next is Rise from the Ashes. Card's insane. This, yeah, it's just, we want to bring back Celestlio, Draco Ray, or Tornadian as many times as we can, or as quickly as we can. Bringing out Celestlio turn 1 is possible if you see a particular 3 cards. So, yeah, crazy. And the third card we fortunately have 6 copies of, which is Golden Apple of Discord and Comagma. These do the exact same thing. They both say put Celestlio in grave. Everything else is irrelevant. This one is kind of annoying in a Blizzstrix matchup because, like, I milled a Cetasaur one time and it's like, cool, you just got a free guy. This one gets Gorgon's, or can be Gorgon's Gaze, can be removed and things like that. So it's not ideal. The Comagma line is really nice, just in like being able to go Comagma, get an extra card, discarding Celestlio and then rising it back. This doesn't get Gorgons as much as it should. If your opponent knows you're on this deck, they will Gorgons this. So at locals, anyone plays a Comagma, it'll get Gorgons. For this event, not so much. The people just don't respect this card because they assume you're on some fire deck and they're not going to Gorgons it. Because it's like, this is the worst thing to Gorgons in a fire matchup. Once it pitches to Celestlio, it's too late. Rise the Celestlio back. They can Gorgons this, that's going to buy them a turn. That's all. A turn. So yeah, very, very good deck. Or not very good deck, but very, very good combo. If you can see the 3-card combo, which I saw egregiously often. But I will attribute that I won games because I saw the combo. And at that point, me playing well was just to, finish the game. 3 Nebuleo. You might think this is for First Light and Celestlio, but it's actually for Rise. It lets us look 4 deep into our deck. If Rise is in the 3rd or 4th slot, we see it sooner. It is just to see Rise as quick as we can. That's the main purpose of this guy. He's also a 6 with Celestlio on board, so he can clear Eddies and stuff. Not Eddies, Ash Rabbits. So he clears 5s when you've got a Celestlio in play. And also, he's silly in the mirror. If you're against another, solo deck, this card is insane. Kokore. This card's awful. In theory, it can trade with Specteris, but I only saw Specteris once for the whole event. So that's fine. And then if you don't have exactly First Light, it doesn't do anything. Yes, it can't be suppressed, but it can still be Gorgon's Gazed. Although if my opponent is putting a Gorgon's Gaze on this, I'm doing well. I should probably put my trio in sight. Oh, I say trio, but there is 4 cards. Not good at this. Next, we have 3 Draco Ray. This card is insane. This card is so good. If you go Magma, pitch Celestlio, Rise the Celestlio, you've got a Co-Magma on the field that if they don't remove, if they're like, I need to find EQ, I'm going to play Rabbits to try and dig for EQ, Co-Magma survives, and then you just turn it into this and you heal back your Rise. Insane. All you need is a guy to survive. It doesn't matter which guy in the deck it is. If a guy survives, other than Winjin, you have this in hand, you summon it. Very often I just hardcast this. It is such a good card. Just being able to heal. Yeah, it loses to Eddie. That's, oh well. It's already gotten its value. It's already healed 3. You can Rise this. You don't have to hardcast it. You can just Rise this, and you're just for free special casting a 2-drop from your grave. It's great. It's such a good card. Big fan of Draco Ray. 3 Winjin. We're foretelling a lot. Because you foretell a lot, you can see things. Sometimes you will just call Rise and just hope for the best because you've seen everything else. But yeah, we foretell a lot. We want to do this. Just because if we hit it, it's huge. Because if we hit it, we get the Tornadian. Tornadian is also really cool. It doesn't have like its dedicated 3 targets. You don't just go Celestia, Apple, Rise. That's never going to work. You'll usually have some combo pieces in hand before you Tornadian. So Tornadian, you'll usually pick Rise just because even if you've already got Rise, a second one is nice. You'll also pretty much always pick Gorgon's Gaze because finding 3 cards that help you in a situation is not good. Gorgon's Gaze at least buys you time. And then the third target is whatever else you need. Sometimes it'll be Cockeray, sometimes it'll be First Light for the Cockeray in hand. Sometimes it'll be a Draco Ray because you plan to just cast it next turn. This card is so cool. Again, you can Rise it back and use its effect. You don't have to though. At one point, I think in the finals, I used Rise to bring back Tornadian with 2 Solars and then just cast the Celestlio over the top. It might have been earlier in the finals, but it was definitely late in the tournament. Yeah. Kafmel. This is also fine to Rise. If you Rise Kafmel and cast Tornadian or Draco Ray over it, that's fine. Do that. That's okay, because you're not paying for the Rise at that point. You're just getting a free big guy. I didn't play this as much as I thought I would for the tournament. Most of the time I was already in a winning state by the time I saw it, or I just had other plays that would get me to Rise, and this doesn't get you to Rise. It's still a great card, and I would never cut it, but in the previous Premier event, it ate Spectress every time. Like, it would just, I put this out, Spectress would hit the board and kill it, and it's like, why, dude? Why do I want to, like, I wanted my heals. Stop with the Spectress. I saw one Spectress this whole event, fortunately, and that was Coda, and it immediately ran this over. So it was just like, yeah, okay. So the card loses to Specterus, but I feel like Specterus saw less play this event. So, but I saw the Kafmel less. 1 Piglin. This is the 40th card. It removes things. Pantera, Blistrix, Celestlio. It just removes them. It's the first card you side out. If you're ever siding out 4 or more cards, you side out the Winjin line. If it's 4 or more. If it's less than 4, then this goes first. 3 Apollo. This card is just Foretell 3. Again, it looks 3 deep for Rise. That's pretty much all you're doing, is you want to see 3 deep for Rise. Obviously, getting a free guy out of your deck gets you closer to Rise 2. And 2 Nectar. I was on 3. You could probably play the third one instead of the Piglin, but whatever. At one point in the last event, I saw 3 Nectars, and it cost 6 to dig. Like, to use all 3, I had to pay 6, and I still didn't see what I needed, so it's like, I may as well just play 2. Don't fall for the trap of being like, if I Nebuleo or Apollo, I can put the best 2 cards in my deck and then Nog for them. I would much rather see Rise than just get the best 2 cards off the top of my deck. I would rather Nog first, then Nebuleo. Or Nog first, then Apollo. Because that way you're looking 5 or 6 deep instead of 3 or 4 deep. having 6 shots at Rise from the Ashes is better than getting the best 2 of the next 4 cards. So, yeah, I think Nog is very useful, but don't use it in the optimal way where you're getting the best value out of your Nog. Use it in the we must see Rise way where you're getting Rise, or you're getting more shots at seeing Rise. 3 First Light, card's silly. This card is so good. It guarantees Celestlio will hit. It guarantees Wingen will hit. It guarantees Cockeray will turn into Draco Ray. Yeah, it's just really good. If you foretell 4 cards and you don't see Rise, you can always First Light and just have, a shuffle so that there's a good chance that you'll see Rise in the following foretell or on a later turn. And when this first came out, I was like, why doesn't it add to hand? Every other deck searcher adds to hand. This is so good that it puts the top of deck. Honestly, the most common thing I searched out of this, other than Celestlio, was Draco Ray. You just grab a Draco Ray off this, and that means next turn you can usually cast it. Hard casting Draco Ray is fine. And then 3 Gorgon's Gates. This card's just good. It deals with Boombat. It deals with Kinleo. It deals with Scorpio form if you ever run into that, but that also really hurts the Celestlio, so have it for that. Just all round, really, really good card. Yeah, as much as we were like, we play no back row in this deck, we play no standard runes, we don't play the staple runes, you still play this. This card is so good. It just really busted card. Onto Spirits. Spirits are pretty easy. 4 Fire. 1 Co-Magma, 3 Draco Ray. No, honestly, that'd be peak, being able to do 3 Draco Ray and a Co-Magma. But you won't always see that, so you can usually use one of these as damage. And then next is 2 Wind for the Wingins and Tornadin. Sometimes you'll Wingin and miss, sometimes you'll have a second shot at it. Or sometimes you will Tornadin, or if you side in Hurricane, it's just, you've already got the wind. You can also just take the spare wind as damage. And then 14 Monkeys. Most of the deck is solar, you're spending a lot. It's just really easy to spend Monkeys. It's easy to also assume you've got heaps when you've got minimal. In the last round, or not last round, the last round on stream, I actually, in the first game, was down to just 2 Fire Spirits in deck. I had no Solars because I'd overspent my Solars. It was 2 Fire, 1 Solar, and it was I need to use the Solar to play the game, and I don't know how to do that. So I did play what I thought was cool, which was the Celestlio, send into Celestlio, and then First Light off the Celestlio, and that way I got 2 sets of foretells out of Celestlio in one turn, and one of them was guaranteed. So yeah, that was cool. It's good to have options, of course. And then we will go through side, of course. 3 Hurricane. Card's good. Obviously the 2 Spirits to go with it. If you're going second, this is where you want a Hurricane. It's I've won game 1, I'm pretty sure I'll be going second. We'll bring in Hurricane, because that way we can enforce the Celestlio sticks. You need to be able to guarantee Celestlio will hit the board, and you can do that with Hurricane. So, yeah, definitely a good going second card, just because it says Celestlio will hit the board this turn, providing you have Celestlio. 3 Prometheus. Just as we side in Hurricane when going second, we side in Prometheus when going first. We already have the Fire in the deck. We never want to see 2 of this because you're not going to resolve 2. You only get 4 Fire Spirits. You don't want to Prometheus twice. But you can threaten it, I guess. If you have one that you've already used and you can foretell and show this one, your opponent will then try and play around it and be like, oh, hang on, Prometheus is here, I better bait it out. And they'll play less than optimally. They don't know you've only got 4. Prometheus is kind of good for going first. Just stopping Gorgon's Gaze is kind of nice. True Divine Blessing. This is for Rise decks, obviously. Like, Rise is a crazy card. You want this for Blisterix. Or if you, lo and behold, or if you like, whatever. If you get a mirror, then sure. It's not going to come up often, but it also works in the mirror. Boombat also deals with Blisterix, also deals with Pantera, also deals with Celestia. That's pretty much it. Just unkillable things. And 2 Heliolith. This never came up. The idea was that most people are going to be on fire, right? The fire Valkyrie stuff was popular. And yet 10% of people showed up with it. I just only matched one of them. So yeah, it didn't come up. It's solar, so you can reanimate it or you can hardcast it. Just really good. Alright, now, I want to show you some test hands with this deck to show that it isn't as consistent as the streams made it look. I popped off with it on stream, but not all my games were like that. A few of them were, more than half of them were, but sometimes you don't just see insanity. Golden Apple is good. Second Golden Apple is useless. See, sometimes you don't see great. This is still good. We got this, whatever. But, and you got the Foretell 4, but it's not amazing. We see Rise. We keep this hand. I don't even care what else is in here. That's it. That's full combo. We're set. We're off to the races. One thing I didn't mention is putting out this with Celestia means that you can't be Laurels. Like, or putting out anything with Celestia stops the Laurels. And that's very, very important. Yes, I know my camera just fell. It's fine. It's holding on for dear life. So yeah, sometimes you will just get insane hands like that. Obviously, that's why you have cuts. Kind of mediocre. I wouldn't keep this. But you also have the Nog, which will help you see nothing. So yeah, you'll see in Top Cut, I did actually get... I only had a mulligan once in Top Cut, which was crazy. Mulligans should be far more frequent in this deck. Tornadin, Comagma, Apollo, Cafmel, no Rise. If you don't see Rise, it's almost not worth keeping. Like, you could keep the Apollo and then try and see it rise off the top. Didn't help. So, yeah. Don't let the videos fool you. This deck is nowhere near as consistent as it appeared. Awful deck. I also apologize to every local that is suddenly going to have this for the rest of the week until the next set comes out. I am sorry in advance that is probably going to happen. We didn't see a single combo piece here. That is a pretty hard mulligan. So yeah, what we saw in the top cut was, as I said, I got very lucky with the hands I was getting. There we go. We keep this hand. It doesn't matter what else you see. You keep any hand you see Rise because it's so infrequent. We just need a way into Celestia here. And there he is. That's an insane hand. That is so busted. Like, yeah. So obviously, that's the hands you're hoping to get out of this, but it's not the hands you're guaranteed to get. Just going to do this to make the video around 20 minutes. 2 discard outlets. This is fine. So what we can do here is we can Cockeray, First Light, put the Celestia on top, and then next turn you have Celestia. Or if you're very desperate, you can just First Light. Oh wait, you don't do that. Ignore me. You just waste the First Light here. You don't need the Cockeray. We'll First Light into the Celestia here. First Light for Celestia, Comagma, Rise. Sorry. I'm not in the zone like I was But anyway, that's the Celestlio deck. I appreciate all the support, and I cannot wait to see how the next set goes. But apparently we solved Moonrise Meta with just this deck. So imagine if that had been a Rise when I revealed the one card just randomly in the deck. Rise. Oh, there. Yeah, imagine if that had been it. So deck's fun. It's a fun deck. Whether or not it's a good deck is still up for debate. Don't let the results fool you. 3 people played this deck. One of us made top 32.